All right, everyone, welcome into another episode of the Lowdown Sports Show. This show is brought to you by the Basketball Podcast Network, presented by DraftKings. I'm your host, Drew,
And I'm BJ.
and we're here to get the lowdown on all things basketball. Back once again, episode 15, I believe it is, BJ.
Yeah, season
Fif-
3, episode 15.
All right, 15 in, another year almost whipped and done now,
My
BJ.
goodness.
And we got a lot to talk about on the NBA side of things today. Some changes have happened and just getting some updates from around the league. This one will be quick, fast,
Hmm.
and in a hurry this time around. Still got BJ's best and what's on Drew's mind, and of course, some with it or quit it. And when BJ's ready, we're going to get it rocking.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. I know you are for the second segment of the day. Obviously, big news that we need to talk about for this episode. So let's get into it, Drew.
It is going to be a fun one, BJ. Let's do it. All right, let's start off with this part of the NBA topics for today, mostly all NBA today, talking about the redesign for the trophies for the end of season awards. BJ, recently we known the NBA to come into ushering in Eastern Conference Finals
Hmm.
MVPs recently. It's the Magic Johnson Award and the Larry Bird
Yeah,
trophy
just
on each
just
side of
last year,
things.
right?
Right. Wait. Was that right? Yeah. Magic
I think
Magic
it
Johnson,
was.
Larry Bird. Yeah. Steph Curry was the first one to get it over in the West, and I believe Tatum got it in the East.
That sounds
So
right. I can double check.
that's those are the new awards that we already know about. But now they wanted to redesign some things and make these awards look a little bit different. As as we know, the WNBA has had to do that with their little tea kettle award that they've had. They've had to make some upgrades on some of their stuff
Rightfully
after
so. Yes.
some jokes that are flying around, or they think they've got it in the works. So NBA doesn't want to make sure that they are the blunt of any jokes here. So they have got down and dirty and made some adjustments on these awards. A lot of changes coming on. Some of these look pretty cool. Some of these not as notable as the others. So, like the first ones you see when you check out this list, um, or when you look at this list, you don't recognize these as the typical end of season awards. Like,
Hmm.
you're thinking MVP, you're thinking all that good stuff. This is not necessarily
Yeah.
what you're thinking,
No.
guys. So, it's I think it's about five of these awards. Am I right, BJ? The Joe Dumars
Hmm.
Trophy is one of them that gets a redesign here. I couldn't tell you, couldn't tell you what the old one looked like. Couldn't remember.
Yeah,
Um,
it's an intriguing design. It looks like a vase, Drew. It looks like like a flower vase to me is
yeah,
what
it
it looks
does.
like.
It does. It's named after the former Detroit Pistons great and Hall of Famer who won the inaugural NBA Sportsmanship Award in 95-96. The trophy features two players shaking hands in the respect of each other and is awarded to the player who best represents the ideals of sportsmanship on the court. So, the Joe Dumars Trophy, whatever it looked like before, I don't actually remember. Um, it looks now, like BJ said, kind of like a vase, just like a fancy vase with a
Hmm.
couple of what are supposed to be players or just dudes, homies, shaking
Yeah,
hands at the top middle of this thing, and at the bottom it says NBA Sportsmanship Award.
very nice design with like the dudes being in gold compared to the rest looking almost like a diamond, if you will, like a
Hmm.
diamond Voss, if you will. So I'm not sure how it looked before because I don't think I've even remember hearing about it last year at the end of the season when we talked about all the awards. If it was
Yeah,
just the
no.
sportsmanship award or whatnot. Obviously, it didn't have a name or anything like that. It was just the sportsmanship award.
Right. That's not something they typically advertise too much. They'll put it out in like a social post or anything.
Yeah.
I think they do like a court presentation, but like that's just not one that fans are, notable. Thinking about like, man, who's gonna win the Joe Dumars Trophy this year, man? Who's it gonna be?
I
You
got
know,
out of line to get a hot dog so I could see the Joe Dumars trophy being presented. No,
right? I
all
stayed in my
joke,
seat
but
at halftime so I could see who won the Joe Dumars Trophy this year,
yeah,
this
no,
season.
no
It's
disrespect or anything to Joe Dumars. It's just it's not not the one that comes to mind first when you are thinking about some of these NBA trophies that we give out at the end of each season. I mean, it's even one of the ones that we'll talk about here in a moment is intriguing because I don't remember them giving it out before this year.
Go ahead.
It's very new. We'll talk about it here in a minute, though. Let's keep going.
Next up, the trying not to butcher this.
Twyman
Twyman
Stokes.
Stokes.
Yeah,
The Twyman Stokes Trophy honors Twyman, who supported teammate Maurice Stokes after he was injured in a game and later came down with, I'm gonna just go for this word. Enceph-
encephalopathy. I don't.
ah,
I even butchered it. I
encephalopy?
think maybe
I'm done. It is awarded to the NBA
encephalopathy.
Teammate of the Year, and the trophy features the T Man with his arm
Twyman.
around Stokes, guiding him and supporting him. Man, these man, I'm a tongue twister on that one.
Well, this is probably the only time that we'll mention it. Although it is cool
Yeah,
that I don't know what was wrong with NBA teammate, but it is, I mean, honoring the efforts of Twyman and how much he valued making sure that his teammate was got the help that he needed and put his arm around him as is displayed in this trophy is I think that's a really cool design. Again, it's very similar to the Joe Dumars trophy. Instead of shaking hands, it's somebody with a hand around the other instead, but it's still the same kind of flower vase structure almost in the design of it.
yes, it is pretty close to the same, and you don't get a whole lot different as you go down. The Red
No,
Auerbach Trophy, next up, is named after the legendary Boston Celtics coach and is awarded to the NBA Coach of the Year winner. The trophy features the famous Lloyd Lilly sculpture of Auerbach on the bench with game plan in one hand and cigar in the other. And
yeah,
it's structured just like the other trophies, just has
yeah.
that sculpture of Auerbach on the bench with the game plan in one hand.
Now this is not it wasn't renamed just this year for him because I thought that we talked about the Red Auerbach Trophy for the past couple of years in terms of our off season like awards episodes. So maybe I'm wrong, but definitely they at this point, Drew, they've come up with a design that they liked, and they
Right.
just kind of click, copy, paste, and like change some things around and whatnot. They really haven't, done too much different with these, but they're all different and they're all very similar now.
Next, we have the Maurice Podoloff Trophy. I hope I said that right.
I think
A
you
new
did. That's a
award,
good one.
a new award named after the first commissioner of the NBA. It is awarded to the team with the best record in the league after 82 games. The trophy features a crystal ball cut into 82 panels, sitting on a pedestal that combines the structures of the Eastern Conference post and Western Conference rings.
Yeah, this is the one that I was talking about, Drew, as being new that I'm kind of intrigued by because this is very
I like that.
reminiscent. Yeah, I like it too. It's if you pay attention to hockey, there is an award called the President's Trophy in
Mm.
hockey, and that's what's given to the team that has the best finishes with the most points at the end of the regular season. Now, does that always mean that the team is going to, reclaim that ultimate prize of hoisting the trophy at the end of the postseason? It doesn't necessarily equate to that, but in this sport, you do want to honor teams that have had fantastic years. Like we should go back and retroactively give it to the '07 Mavs that had the best record in the NBA that year.
Oh,
Give them that trophy.
don't do that. We're gonna end up backtracking to MJ, and then MJ is just gonna have even more awards from all the 82 game season. Eh.
But no, I mean you kind of understand my point. I mean I know they're
Yeah.
not going to do that, but at the same time, it's like this feels like this doesn't feel new, but it is at the same time. Like I'm not sure what took so long if they were going to do this. Why now of all times?
Yeah, it does seem
Um,
kind of random,
yeah,
but
it's very interesting that it gets introduced. After the 2022 season that it is for the first time. I'm not sure why, unless they were just kind of coming off the highs of the 75th anniversary season last year, and they thought Time for a new trophy, for instance, maybe.
BJ, are some of these at least some of them, or at least like, are they worth having conversations about sometimes? Like, does the best record in the league trophy mean anything? Like, everybody's ultimate prize is of course an NBA championship. Um, but like, do are teams going to hold any stock into that NBA best record trophy? Um, or is it going to be kind of treated like a commissioner's cup uh in the WNBA in a way to where it's just kind of another trophy that you get to put on your wall? Well, Commissioner's Cup, WNBA Commissioner's Cup, you get some money from that. But um, is this going to be anything anybody talks about? The Sportsmanship Award, the Coach of the Year, the uh, Support of the Teammate.
Coach of the year will for sure be talked about. I think this will be this best record, the Podoloff trophy with the best record. My worry is that it's going to either end up becoming like a meme, if you will, where it's like, all those wins in the regular season bounced in the first round or
Yeah,
whatnot.
right.
It's
Oh
going to be
yeah,
something
the
like that.
first
It's
team to
going to,
get that and lose
yeah,
in the playoffs is
yeah.
going to be the
Yeah,
victim.
and
Yeah.
I mean you know how we still think of that Warriors team that went 73-9, had the
La la
best
la 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 la.
record season ever, by any NBA team, bounced in the NBA finals that didn't win the trophy. It is worth noting, Drew, because it is a remarkable accomplishment, especially when you win, if you win every game but 9 or 10 in the instance of those Bulls, of those Warriors, you absolutely deserve something for that recognition. But it doesn't matter diddly squat to those teams if they don't raise the Larry O'Brien trophy at the end of the year. It's not going to matter. It's going to be a hollow, empty trophy. It's going to be a hollow, empty cup or whatever if they're not able to accomplish that ultimate goal of winning the title. Who cares what you did in the regular season if you can't claim that, postseason trophy? If you're the 1 seed in the East and you get bounced out by like the 5 or the 4, for instance, in the second round, or the 3 seed in the West knocks out the 1 seed in the West in the Western Conference Finals, that's where it becomes one of those, like uh you get just the roast session begins, because what are you doing in the ultimate goal of pursuing a championship? What does this award mean for you? Because this is not like a different sport, for instance, that the regular season, while it does matter, it doesn't matter nearly as much as when you get to the postseason and the ultimate goal of obtaining that championship. So it is going to be, it's not really going to matter to these teams, Drew, unless it's just been like a long time. Like, for instance, if Memphis were to win it this year but not win the championship, maybe they might, have a little bit of, appreciation for it more so. But if you're a team like Boston, who's had 17 NBA trophies for winning the final 17 times, having the best record but not winning an 18th trophy isn't going to matter at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah, I think these might be more like ownership, organization, ego boosting awards, because they'll be able to rack up what they're doing. They'll see them as their awards, probably like, oh, we're bringing in the right players, getting sportsmanship awards. Oh, we're bringing in the right coaches that know what they're doing and winning coach of the year around here. We know what we're doing uh, as executives. And speaking of which, executive of the year award is the final one. They got to redesign.
Mm-hmm.
um, it's a award to the top executive, or the top front office executive. The iconic five-sided pyramid symbolizes five players on the floor united and point towards the apex under the direction of the executive. And this is in place of where the people have been on the past on the
Mm-hmm.
coach of the year and these other awards. It's a pyramid instead,
Yeah.
and it looks the same. Same type of design, same everything else.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think these will be more touted within organizations and
Yeah.
executives.
Yeah, outside of the best regular season record, none of this is really going to move the needle for the common NBA fan. Outside maybe the coach of the year, because that is an intriguing race, and basketball fans can talk about, like, I mean, you and I last year we had different conversations about who should have won it. Billy Donovan, for instance, they had such a good season. The coach in Memphis had a fantastic year, coming out of nowhere to be the 3 seed in, or actually no, the 2 seed, if I'm not mistaken, in last year's playoffs. So honoring somebody that has had the best year as a coach is certainly something that will be talked about, and everything, more so than probably any of these other trophies that we've talked about. But it's certainly it's certainly worth noting and talking about.
Players will probably hold stock into the sportsmanship and stuff personally when they get those awards, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Uh,
and want to say hello to Cam, who's in the chat with us. He said looked up the new designs. He likes them for the most part, and he's kind of in agreement about the Bodeloff, which is going to be overinflated or become a meme, just like the President's Trophy in hockey.
Shout out to Cam. And now we have BJ's best.
That's right, Drew. And well, it is almost the end of the year for 2022, and I just got to thinking, you know, I don't know, Drew, how many times did you really get to go to a movie theater this year? If you had to guess, how many times did you go and see a movie? You are muted again, my friend.
Good point. This year, man, I could definitely count it on one hand. I don't know. I know
Mm-hmm.
I went on a date, one of them.
Okay.
So I would, hmm, I'd say no more than three. No more than
No more
three.
than three. Wow.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
a
kind
huge
of,
movie guy. You know,
well, yeah.
TV mostly when I can watch at home, and there's most movies that I haven't seen, so I just watch them on the little platforms, or whatever. But if it's like big or something, so like I want to see Wakanda Forever, I
Mm-hmm.
have plans to see it. I haven't seen it yet,
I haven't
so
either,
that'll be
believe it or
something I go
not.
out and see.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'm kind of surprised. It's been really busy, and I haven't had the chance to go and see it in the theater. At this point, I might not, and just wait for it to drop on home release. I
Oh,
know I went more last year because I think it was one of those, like, after so long of not having
oh
anything to
yeah,
go
like
see at the
right when
movie
we get out
theater.
of all the stuff,
Yeah,
like it's time to
yeah.
go out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and there were more. It felt like there was more offerings that I was interested in that were kind of backlogged and waiting for release in the theaters that I did want to go see. So I think I went and saw you know 6 to 8 movies last year that I probably would have spaced out and seen, like, maybe 2 or 3 each of the past 2 or 3 years had it
Yeah.
not been for that. But this year, I mean, I think I'm right there with you, where I may have seen just a handful, maybe 3 or 4 films in the theaters this year, and I'm trying to remember if I've seen more, and I'm just blanking. But the reason I bring that up and ask is because you go at the end of the year, you usually get some of the top movies of the year lists that have come out,
Hmm.
and so this is from the Ringer. This is their best movies of 2022, and it's got 10. So let's see if we have collectively seen how many of these movies that are in the top 10. I know that Cam has seen this first one, Top Gun Maverick. I have yet to see it. I'm meant to go see it. I'm gonna watch it probably with the home release. But you have not seen it, Drew, is my
I have
understanding.
not. I never saw the first one.
That the first one's pretty good. I saw the first one. In fact, it was just on television the past couple days, I think. So,
Missing.
but they put it at number 10, alongside with Jackass Forever. Believe it or not. Now I know
Unfortunately,
I
I
didn't
haven't
see
seen
that
that.
one. No,
That's
I have
good that
not
it's a
seen that.
top 10 movie. That means that the Jackass movie did not fold in its last one that they came back and did. That's good.
Yeah. So I'm kind of intrigued that those two movies are put right equal platforming, but I mean, if they're both good, then I don't have a problem with it. I'm just curious as to what is ahead of it. And
I've got to
at
watch it
number
on Netflix now.
yeah, I was gonna say it should be available to watch. Number 9, I know I've never heard of this one, so I'm sure you haven't seen it. This is according to the Ringer again. This is their list, not anything you or I made. Number 9 is a movie called EO. It's a uh, it's a movie where it follows a lonely wandering donkey. I guess it's is it kind of the
I,
live action Eeyore is Maybe
Oh,
what they're going for.
oh, that sounds about right. That's
Yeah,
the
but
only thing that would make sense.
I guess, but I hadn't heard of it until I saw it in this
I hadn't either.
on this list.
I definitely
So
hadn't watched it.
yeah, I haven't either. So it's very interesting. Um,
Yeah.
I know I've heard really good things about this, and this is kind of a little bit underrated because when I tell you who directed this movie, you'll be surprised. Number 8 is The Fablemans. Do you know who directed that one, Drew?
Nope.
That is a Steven Spielberg film.
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg, who has done a lot of fantastic movies over the years. And so this one is very interesting. A lot of this is this one is a it looks like it's a an odd to the John Ford, who did a lot of good films, including The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. So if you kind of remember the old school GTA games back in the day, that was
Oh.
kind of what they were based around. Um, so anyway, it's going to be very interesting to see that there was. I think it's a movie that I haven't seen it yet, Drew, but with Steven Spielberg, anything less than top five feels like a little bit of a snub. So number 7 is All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. I know I have not seen that.
Oh, the Beauty and the Bloodshed. Never heard of it.
Yeah, it says it's about a photographer
Uh
who
oh.
went out to uh, take pictures of subjects that were marginalized, militant, or socially invisible, uh, basically, nonconformist souls, essentially. So this is one of those like indie films, I guess, is what where this one comes from because I had never heard of it, and I don't know if it really did get a lot of attention outside of like the true film buffs, if you will. Number 6 is a movie called Earwig. This is another looks like indie film. This is a grim fairy tale titled after a tiny burrowing insect, and it furiously digs its way into your consciousness. Apparently,
Whoa.
that's what this article says, almost verbatim.
Okay.
Confined to a small apartment with a man who may or may not be her father, a 10-year-old suffers a rigorous caregiving routine. Every day, for no apparent reason, the man inserts rows of ice cubes into her toothless mouth and then leaves her to play on her own. That sounds just wrong to me. I don't know why this is in the top 10.
Next.
Yeah, let's keep going. Number 5, Crimes of the Future. Long live the old flesh. At 79, David Cronenberg gathered together an insanely hot cast of art house stalwarts, flew them to Athens, and pulled off a genuine Greek tragedy. Um, and it says it's an auteur work in every sense. Another one that is probably a little too artsy fartsy for you and I.
Next.
I was gonna say I don't know where they're getting, I mean, where is where's the good movies, it feels
Like,
like.
who likes these things?
Where
Who
is
did y'all talk to? Do the review this?
where's Everything Everywhere All at Once? You know that movie? That one was
Yeah.
good from what I've heard. I think that was one that I meant to watch before it left theaters and I didn't. Number 4, Decision to Leave. This is a this one was in theaters, but I couldn't tell you if I ever saw a trailer for it, Drew.
Don't know what it is.
No.
I don't have a clue.
All right, here's one that I think you'll know for sure. Number
Okay.
3 is Nope. That's the
I
Jordan
do
Peele
know
film.
it, but I never ended up seeing it
Yeah,
actually.
I didn't
Jordan
see it
Peele.
either. This is one that I mean, obviously with Jordan Peele's 3 horror movies that he's done over the years, this one kind of comes in a little bit below the other two, at least from what I've heard. And I'm not one that has gone and watched them all, so I can't be the judge of that. But everything I've heard about people that watch Peele's movies kind of view this one, still up there as solid, but not
Hmm.
as great as the first two. The I drew a blank on what their names were,
Don't
but
ask me. I haven't seen him either.
yeah. Number two is Saint Omer. This is something called TIFF. Is this a streaming service? I've never even heard of this. And the number one movie, according to The Ringer, is After Sun. So maybe we not see any of these, Drew? Did
Say
we
that
just
one
go?
again.
Number one was a movie called After Sun.
Nope.
Yeah, so we I don't know. There's a
I don't get
lot.
out enough. I see. I
There's
guess.
there's a lot that it feels like is missing from this list, Drew. Let's talk about what we did see because I know I saw Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and I saw Thor: Love and Thunder. Those are the first two that come to my mind.
Haven't
Um,
seen that, or that.
Neither one of them. Which
Oh,
ones did you see then?
and BJ, I just sent you something. Don't check it until what's on Drew's mind.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. So, what movie did you see that you can remember? Because I mean, it feels
Oh
like there's some missing from this
What
list.
did I even see on the date that I went on? I don't remember. You're asking me to remember
Was
these
that the
things.
Batman? It was the Batman this year? Did that come out this year?
Was it Batman? No. Oh man, I remember what movie. It's not. It was that Viking like movie that came out.
Oh,
Um. Oh
oh,
man,
shoot.
it was like 2 hours long too.
Was
On
it
it.
the Northman?
Yes, the
Oh,
Northman. The Northman. Yeah.
where's that one? That one I heard solid things about
That
that
was.
one.
I mean, I think it was a little overhyped. Like it was
Okay.
good, but it. I don't think it would make this list.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it would make
Man,
this.
I'm drawing a blank as to. I mean, it feels like, the ones that we've heard of that were, ones that we probably would have seen were either right at the bottom or Jordan Peele, which gets elevated to number three.
I
That's
don't know,
that's that's
man.
a bit. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this is just not in touch with, like, what the normal
Is that our movie
moviegoer.
taste, or like, is it us,
This,
or
I
is
mean,
it
it's
them?
just, let's see. This says it was oh, okay, film critic, teacher, author, based in Toronto. So maybe there's some movies that we didn't see that were like Canadian exclusives. I found it on the
Probably.
Ringer, and I thought that it was, U.S. based movies.
There's
Like,
definitely some things that are exclusive, and some definitely like come out before
yeah,
we get
like,
them. I know
what
that.
about, a movie like Bullet Train or Smile? If you're, talking about the horror movies, I heard a lot of people that actually really liked that movie Smile. I couldn't tell you because the trailer just kind of turned me off to it, but I heard a lot of good things about it. So
Mm.
maybe we have a little bit of some disagreements with this top 10 list. Maybe we need to reach out to our friends and see what they think, what their list would be, and maybe we can review that for another future installment. But
And maybe we need to get out and watch some more movies. I guess.
I guess that's what we need to take away from 2022. There are some solid movies coming out next year that I'm looking forward to, though. So I guess it's one of those that we'll just have to kind of go and watch some movies and you know make our own list from now on.
Yeah. I like to
I
be at a movie for a while, like make a trip out of it. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
like I don't like short movies, so like less than an hour and a half or
Mhm.
hour and a half or less. I'm not into that. Like I want
Yeah.
my movie to be close to 2 hours or
Yeah.
longer.
I think
Yeah.
that's what the trend has been going steadily, slowly over the years. I watched just the other day. You've seen the original Christmas Story, right?
Yeah.
So they did another like a sequel of sorts to it on HBO Max, and I watched it kind of skeptical, thinking, okay, this is just one of those cash grabs that they just are trying to you know cash in on people's enjoyment of the first one. And I actually ended up enjoying it, Drew. I thought that it did a very nice job of making you appreciate the original for what it was, but also adding something new to the story. I didn't feel like it was just, let's age up the children from the movie and put them in similar circumstances. It actually did have its own kind of story to tell. And I thought that that was a really nice touch to do as a proper sequel to the original. So that's the most recent one that I've seen, and pretty solid, honestly. I don't do like scores or anything, but if you're a fan of the original, I think that's worth it. Watch this holiday season.
Okay.
And that is BJ's best, Drew. That is what my best of the week has been.
There you go. Another successful day of BJ's Best, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of success, those Mavs need to find some more success.
Yeah.
As
Back
that
to back
NBA
wins is
season
pretty good.
continues to heat up, Christmas around the corner, still so many unknown things that are going to shake out. Who's going to be winning the West? Who's going to be winning the East? Who's actually a title contender? Who's a pretender? Who's going to get the MVP with all those people vying for that award? Man, when I'm looking to get in on the action, though, I bet with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can bet just $5 pregame money line on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do.
That is right, Drew. And check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to a 100% boost with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. Here's what you do: you got a couple matchups you like coming up this weekend, maybe tonight even. You got the Nuggets as a 1 point favorite on the road in Portland. Let's say you want to parlay those Nuggets with maybe the Houston Rockets in a kind of a matchup of two teams that used to be better than they are this year. The Rockets and the Spurs tonight in San Antonio. Or maybe you just want to hold off and wait till Friday. Maybe you believe in the Mavericks to make it three in a row when the Bucks come to town. Maybe. If not, you can always go and look at another game such as Philadelphia hosting the Lakers, for instance. What you're going to do is you want to take whatever team you believe in. You're going to put a same game parlay. Which team's going to win? The total number of rebounds in that contest. Maybe how many assists will Luka dish out to his teammates in that Bucks Mavericks game? Well, whatever you want to do, the more legs you add to it, the bigger the boost and the bigger your shot is to win big. Drew, how do they do it?
You download the app now. Sign up with code TBPN. Place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code TBPN only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, Drew, I guess you sent me something that I need to look into. I'll take a look at that, but why don't you go ahead and lead us into what's on your mind for this week's edition?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this week on What's on Drew's Mind, it's something that dates back to my childhood and BJ's childhood as well. BJ once again gets to participate in What's on Drew's Mind, especially as I sent him that. He definitely will be partaking. So he knows where this is going now since he's seen it. And What's on Drew's Mind is a new movie coming out.
Really?
Rush Hour 4
Oh my
has
goodness.
been confirmed
Wow.
to come out. And I'm a big Rush Hour fan. It's one of those few movies that I'll go back and rewatch because it's so good. And I mean the Rush Hours date back to like when we were born,
Yeah, the
BJ.
late 90s.
Yeah, we were just pups out here in the streets when Rush Hour was coming out, Rush Hour 2, and then Rush Hour 3, and then now years and years
Years
later,
later.
Rush Hour 4.
You are me? No, I am you.
No, I'm you.
No,
Yes.
I am you. That's what I said. Make him
And you
stop
is I'm
saying
three.
that.
So
Oh my
this
goodness.
week it's Rush
Wow.
Hour 4, BJ, and with Rush Hour, so many good memories and so many good different clips from the Rush Hour movies.
Mm.
And you probably didn't have to download these, but you should be able to maybe just share, or if you're able to download them, then cool. But wanted to show some clips from, or at least a couple of these from Rush Hour. One of them's like 3 minutes. It's way too long. A couple of clips from Rush Hour from the movies to throw it back to bring back some of the memes from the Rush Hour days. And if you are a Rush Hour watcher, you will know the jam in the car where Jackie was. Come on to the first, don't stop till I get in. Come on.
Good
Just
God, you all. It ain't you
ha
all, it's y'all.
yeah.
Y'all?
So
Oh
Rush
man.
Hour, Jackie Chan is looking at. I didn't know he was this old. He's 68 years old. Jackie Chan is
Wow.
68,
I
and
can't
Chris
believe
Tucker is
that.
51. There's a funny tweet right now. I just noticed it. He said, Jackie Chan is 68 years old and Chris Tucker is 51. I'm praying for their Achilles and ACLs if they're really going through with Rush Hour 4. Probably
Yeah, just got to
going
make
to get
sure.
injured on set.
Yeah, make sure you got the top doctors on standby just in case.
Right?
Get those
Gotta have
stunt
you.
doubles.
Probably gonna have their kids in the show or something. Like
Yeah,
you
or
probably
maybe
you figure you gotta integrate that at some point. Like these guys are old, but like surely Jackie and oh my god, what was his name in Rush Hour? Lee, no, Carter.
yeah,
Carter in Rush Hour surely got some kids, and like out of
yeah,
all this time, like the
and that
gap
that
between Rush Hour 2 and 3 had to have something there, and then 3 and 4 now, like okay, where's these guys' kids? Like they got to be growing at this point. Like
yeah they
are
might
they going
be
to be in
training
Rush
the
Hour
next
4?
generation or something, and that might be
Yeah,
part of the premise so that they don't have to do so many stunts.
yeah, I bet they're in Rush Hour 4. But BJ, let's play.
All right,
Okay,
let's see.
so you
I
see
I
the little
don't
four
have any.
square.
I don't have them downloaded. I worry about possibility of a copyright strike or claim if
Okay,
we
fair
try to
enough.
play it. So do
Fair enough.
you have like a you want me to see if I can play the sound of one perhaps?
Oh no, it's fine then. But Rush Hour lovers, they know all about it. I don't know if there is an exact date yet. The word just came out that it is in the works. I don't know if there's even a year on it. Let me see really quick.
I hadn't heard anything until you sent me that tweet. So looks like it has not been
Yeah, no year
given a
on it on the
date. Yeah.
drop. So what I'm looking at right here. Jackie Chan made a rare onstage appearance at the Red Sea Film Festival Thursday, where he told fans that he is currently in talks to make a fourth Rush Hour movie. He said, "quote We're talking about part four right now." He told the festival crowd, adding that he was going to meet with the film's director this evening to discuss the script. He did not identify said director, but American filmmaker Brett Ratner directed all three previous versions. I don't know why he wouldn't do the fourth if he waited out to do the third one. I bet he's going to do the fourth. So there you go on
Well,
that.
that's a little bit of a sketchy possibility. I mean, he should, but there's
Hmm.
also some misconduct allegations
Ah,
against him, so that might be what the hang up was. Because
yeah,
this
I see it
says,
right here. He hasn't
yeah,
directed a film since 14. In
mm-hmm,
November 2017, seven women, including actresses Olivia Munn and Natasha Henstridge, accused the filmmaker of sexual harassment and misconduct, causing Warner Bros. To sever all the ties with the producer slash director with whom they had a lucrative deal.
yeah, this says they'd been talking about it even back as far back in 2018 about making a fourth one. With Chris
Hmm.
Tucker said that Jackie was ready and wanting to do it. I'm sure that they were working on it then, and COVID came around, and so maybe now, if they start filming next year, I would expect that you'd see it sometime in 2024.
Yeah, gotta do it right now before Jackie kills over and dies. He's
Oh
68.
gosh, good
All right, he's
grief,
not gonna
man!
kill over and
Well, I was
die,
gonna
but he
say
ain't gonna be he ain't gonna be able to do that Jackie Chan stuff no more.
yeah,
Um, Chan starred in three Rush Hour films. Of course, Chris Tucker
mm-hmm,
between 1998. That was that first one, and
yeah.
in 2007 alongside Chris Tucker. Three came out. Golly, when was three? 20. Ooh,
Was it not '07? Did you
was it
say
the
that?
seven one? I felt like the gap was bigger. I guess it is. I felt like three came out later than that. I don't know.
Maybe it felt like it was later than that, but it was only '07. I mean, '07 has been 15 years, Drew.
Oh
So
no, you're right. Rush Hour 3 was '07. That is crazy that's weird. 15 years later and they get 4 out, man.
yeah, or start working on it.
Yeah, start working on it. It'll be about 16, 17 by the time it gets here to us.
Yeah,
But
man, that's exciting news. I'm glad that you saw that. I had no idea that that was even happening.
but yeah, big Rush Hour fan from those back in the day, and all the iconic quotes and things from those movies. A rewatch would be great sometime soon. Probably gonna do that now, but
Yeah, I was just say
that
that's something I need to rewatch.
yeah, that is what's on Drew's mind.
Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Well, we're gonna shift gears, and this still basketball related, but we're gonna talk about something very serious that happened today, and it doesn't even have anything to do with you know playing the sport or anything like that. But Drew, earlier this morning, we found out that Brittney Griner has been released. The U.S. and Russia agreed to a prisoner swap, and so Brittney Griner is on her way home.
Yep, after that long, long time over there in that Russian prison, she has
Yeah,
been exchanged in a swap, and the U.S. releases Russian arms dealer Victor Bout for Brittney Griner. Long
yeah,
time coming here to finally get Griner out. It's cool to finally see that this is a done deal here, and Griner is on her way back. If not, I probably back already, to be honest, and trying to regain some normalcy within life again after
yeah,
being in such conditions for a long time and having to go through so much mentally in that time period. But I'm glad she's finally made her way out of there and is going to get back to whatever she would consider a normal life at this point, because that'll probably always haunt her forever, to be
yeah.
honest.
I can't
So,
even imagine. Like we said, we're not even going to talk about when she would, if she even returns. I don't know if you would, if she would want to come back and be part of basketball. I'm sure she would. It just, how long is this going to, take for her to, get back and feel normal, not normal, but feel safe and just, kind of regain. I'm struggling for the words, but kind of what I'm meaning right here, Drew. Where it's what she went through psychologically that could hang with her, as you said, for a long time, and that's something that if she doesn't feel like she's at her highest level, you know, emotionally and psychologically, she might not want to try to return to the WNBA or basketball in general. I mean, is she? I don't. You know, with her, she doesn't have to go out there and prove anything in my book on the court if she doesn't want to. I know she loves the sport. I know she would love to be back and be with her teammates, and her teammates, you know, were so active and vocal about making sure that she got home and was, released from being wrongfully detained. But I don't know if that's something that she would want to try to go out there for a whole season and a postseason run, and just the stress and tolls that can have as well, coming off of an ordeal like this.
yeah, definitely not probably on any of their minds at all at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
But just glad it's finally wrapped up for her and that she's back. Um, Back to some actual basketball. Um, well, just kind of running down some news from the NBA, some things going on. The Pelicans have taken the number one seed in the West now.
yeah.
Colin Sexton for the Jazz got a hamstring injury, going to be out at least a week. Dejounte Murray with an ankle injury out for a couple. Just some quick injury stuff. Races heat up for the different awards. Anthony Davis going on a crazy tear
It's been
for the
insane.
Lakers and really
Hmm.
kind of pulling the Lakers from the scrums back up to in the thick of things. And
Yeah,
everybody's talking about Anthony Davis and his skill set. Is he the most talented player in the league? Um, and I'll bet he's gonna get the comparisons to Giannis. Stacking up AD's numbers so far this season versus Giannis, and it is Giannis's MVP numbers in his first season. AD's numbers are better right now. Is AD in the MVP conversation? What are the Lakers looking like? Lakers looking like they're getting it together. Russ is thriving off the bench. AD putting up MVP numbers. The Jazz are winning some crazy victories. I think that's
yeah.
Laurie Markkinen not too long ago had a buzzer beater victory for the Jazz, and then the Jazz just came back in the final seconds last night to
Against
beat
the
the
Warriors, yeah.
Warriors. So I don't know what this NBA season is on right now, but it is on some stuff. And then
It's been
Kyrie
remarkable.
out here hooping in Brooklyn. The Nets are getting it together. Cleveland is going crazy out there. The Celtics are looking really good. Middleton's back for the Bucks. A lot of stuff, BJ.
There's a
What's
lot.
what's really got your attention the most in the NBA so far in the recent week?
I mean, yeah, you just kind of hinted at what we've kind of seen all transpire. Just the way that Utah was able to kind of come out of nowhere, get that steal and literally steal away a win from Golden State. Well, just last night, it's been crazy seeing the Mavs go back and forth with the Nuggets just a couple nights back, and that was less than ideal because they were coming on a back to back, going on the road for the second end of a back to back after being at home against a really good but short-handed Suns team that they won by 20 plus in that game. And just to withstand the adversity of playing in the mile high, uh, losing, anytime you have to get yourself ready to play a mile above sea level, it's always tough. And the Mavs had some struggles, but they were able to get a victory and a very solid one at that. And if they can pile another one together, that's kind of what I'm looking at for tomorrow is can they keep up this play against these top teams? This is about when obviously it was a little bit later last year that they've started really going on that run that propelled them to a top four seed in the West. But if what with the way they've started this year, it feels like that run needs to start a little bit earlier. This might be what catapults them into that kind of run with winning these kind of games, having another great opportunity to do so tomorrow night, and then just the continued play above at the top in the West by Memphis and some of the other teams. It's really interesting to me. There's been a lot of things that I've been keeping my eye on. You were talking about Anthony Davis, not even in the top 10 in the NBA MVP ladder. I'm really just amazed that his performance over the past couple weeks hasn't at least gotten him into that 6 through 10 range. He's still kind of in that five more to keep an eye on category right now. I don't see how he's not in the top 10 right now. There's a lot of names out there that it's kind of, tough to say, no, this guy's not deserving. But, would you put Jalen Brown ahead of Anthony Davis? I'm not so sure I would. A guy like maybe a Donovan Mitchell, he's having a solid year, but
I would.
AD is
I
so
don't. I don't know. It gets a little complicated. I'd put Donovan Mitchell above. It's mainly
yeah,
because the Lakers aren't really in the mix of it yet. But AD's bringing him out of it. You can't deny what he's
yeah.
doing. So I think they're
If he
being a
wills
little.
them into that playoff discussion, I think
Yeah,
he'll continue to rise.
yeah. I think he's. I think they're being a little hard on AD in these rankings
Yeah,
right now. But soon,
yeah,
sooner or later, though, he'll rise up because I mean he's just he's his the numbers are undeniable right now. And if the Lakers keep
absolutely.
winning, I mean they're
Yeah.
gonna have to,
And if he
and
can
he'll be in
maintain
that
that
mix.
pace, I mean, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so that's pretty much the bulk of it for the NBA news. Luca continues to get triple doubles. Morant just set a Grizzlies franchise record of triple doubles. I believe it's only six, which is
Yes,
not saying a whole
yeah.
lot for the Grizzlies,
Well,
but
they're so young of a franchise that
oh,
it's
they're so
it didn't
poor of a
surprise me.
franchise.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's most of the NBA news going on right now and how things are
yeah.
stacking up. Tim Hardaway Jr. doing kind of good for the Mavs right now. And BJ, a little Mavs factoid for you: a lineup of Luka Doncic, Josh Green, Maxi Kleber, Christian Wood, and I believe Tim Hardaway Jr. is a top six NBA lineup in the league.
I like that. I like
Hmm.
that, and I'm hoping that that's kind of what we see for the the good majority of the rest of the way. Tim Hardaway had that big clutch shot to give the Mavs back the lead in Denver the other night, and we'll see if he's able to keep up that level and maintain that pace and be a consistent part of it.
If he's going to stay true to being who he is, then he won't. It's just going to
Yeah,
be a little
I
spurt.
know,
He's going to go super cold for a while, and they're going to be like,
and
"Where's
then
Tim?" Oh, I don't know what happened to the
that's
guy we saw.
unfortunate because
Yeah.
it always seems to come that way. This is a good opportunity to buck that trend.
And is it weird to say that this is his 10th year in the league? Does it sound right to say that?
It doesn't sound
It
right to
doesn't.
say that. It really doesn't.
Like
Where's the
he
time
joined
going?
the his first year in the league was our senior year in high school.
Man, that
Yeah.
flabbergasting, man. It is absolutely flabbergasting.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. And now time for With It or Quit It.
Yes, sir. So after a 2 week hiatus, it's my turn to ask Drew 5 questions. And I am going to ask Drew if he is with it or if he's going to quit it. So, Drew, are you ready to start?
I'm ready.
Okay, number one. So, I don't know if you saw the news come out today,
Hmm.
but former Dallas Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett is tied as one of the finalists to land the job at Stanford at the college ranks. He's one of the finalists, apparently, that is being considered by Stanford University. So, Drew, for number one, Jason Garrett would be able to lead Stanford to the Pac 12 championship if Stanford decides to hire him. Are you with it? Or are you going to quit it?
How good is Stanford right now?
They're coming off a 4-8 season, Drew. That's part of the reason why they are looking for a new coach.
Quit it.
Ooh,
NFL coaches don't always work in the college ranks, and who knows if it'll work out for Jason Garrett. And he'd have to be the savior of Stanford right now. And ushering in Jason Garrett just doesn't say, yeah, he's that guy. If you got Dion coming to Stanford, I'm like, okay, yeah, you might see the college football playoff next year. But
really?
no,
Wow.
no, Colorado's not going to see it. I don't
I
think.
was
I
I
don't know
was
if they
about I
have that
was
type
about to
of
say
talent, but they're going to get some people. Everybody in that transfer portal of those A&M transfers and things like that.
they're
They're going to be
they're
like,
yeah they're asking
Colorado
about, hey,
looks
Colorado,
kind
you
of
have any
nice.
opening for me?
I'm like, what up, Coach Prime? What's good? He's like, I don't play quarterback. I ain't trying to fight for your son spot or nothing. Just put me on a team. I'll play special team.
I'll be the fourth string water boy if you need
He's gonna
somebody.
be a new hub for athletes, bro. Instead of going to Bama as much, they're gonna be like, man, it's gonna come down to Colorado and Bama. It's like, man, do I want to play for Coach Prime and start something new out here and take down a Bama, or do I want to join the dynasty of Bama and just like probably get a championship?
Man, I mean,
so
I'm glad you said something about Dion. We might talk about him
so
here in a
I'm
moment.
saying, yeah, quit it on Jay Garrett.
Quit it on Jason Garrett. Okay.
Yeah.
Number two. So this I'm going to preface by saying that the this is a question where money is not an issue. Okay.
Okay.
So nothing to worry about with money or anything otherwise. So if money was not an issue, Drew, you would rather go to a team's away game. So, like, let's say you're going on the road to see the Mavericks, or forever, reference like the Rangers or something like that. You'd rather go to a team's away game as opposed to a home game, so that you can get to look at a new area that you are not familiar with. With it or quit it. Taking a team's road game basically is the question.
Well, since money is not an option, I definitely try to go visit the Mavs at like MSG or something. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, yeah, with it.
So with it for sure.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I can't blame you. I mean, I went on the road to see a frog game just a couple weeks back,
Or
and
like
so
the NBA All Star game or
oh
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
it'd
Especially when
be
money's not an option. Like if you're playing in the Bahamas, I'm going.
yeah,
And they're playing
absolutely.
if they play a college basketball game on that battleship or whatever again,
Yeah,
I'm go. I'm
yeah,
go.
man, that's so cool to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong. All right, good deal, good deal. Number three. We haven't gotten to do an episode since this news came out. I think it was just last Friday, in fact, that we found out the home run move of the offseason, perhaps in Major League Baseball. I know you know who I'm talking about. It's our
DeGrom.
boy Jacob DeGrom coming to the Texas Rangers. And Drew, question now is, will the Texas Rangers will be a playoff team next season by bringing in Jacob DeGrom? With it or quit it?
I don't know about by just bringing in Jacob DeGrom, but with what they're doing, yes. I mean, they should be by all accounts. They should be. They should be.
And they might not be done just yet. It's
Especially
it's
since
gonna
Otani probably ain't coming back. It's not like the Angels were really in your way anyway, but the Mariners are in your way now since they're actually good at stuff now.
Yeah, Mariners are losing some pieces. They might not be able
Yeah.
to.
So,
I mean,
but the
they'll
Rangers'
be.
time is now. It's this is it. Like, if the
Yeah.
farm works out like it's supposed to, plus Degrom, plus a year two of Seager, Simeon, it's
Oh yeah.
supposed we're
Yeah,
supposed to be back.
well, got a lot of time with those guys, and the pitching coming up is supposed to be very complimentary, especially with getting a guy like Jacob Degrom in here. It's
Yeah.
going to be fun to watch. I've already got some tickets for next year, Drew. I'm excited. I can't wait to see him.
There
I'm
you go.
hoping he can we can get to see him in the start. Okay, Drew, number 4. We're going to get a little personal here.
Oh,
Personality. So you, Mr. Drew Ivory, you prefer someone to tell you an uncomfortable truth rather than give you a comfortable lie. You with it? Or quit it.
very much with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's honesty is the best policy for a lot of
Hit me with it.
reasons, but yeah. I mean, it always makes you feel good when you get a compliment or something. But even if it's not the truth, I think it'd be much easier to handle, to have the uncomfortableness of it, as
Right.
opposed to hearing something that you want to hear, even if it's not true at all.
Yep. I want the truth.
Absolutely. All right, Drew. Last but not least, number 5. You mentioned him a moment ago. I didn't
Ah,
want to. I didn't want to go and give you anything, like that would age poorly. So all I'm saying with number 5 is Colorado hiring Deion Sanders will be the best college football coaching move made this offseason. With
easily
it
with it.
or quit it. Yeah,
Easily with it.
yeah. I mean, there's what he was able to do at Jackson State is remarkable, and I expect you know very similar results. Maybe even as early as next year, they could be in contention for a bowl game and keep building from there. I think when we look back here in a few years, we're gonna be like, how did everybody kind of whiff on Deion Sanders as opposed to some of the other coaching moves that were made. So I'm glad that you're in agreement, Drew.
Mm-hmm.
And that is With It or Quit It. And that is our show, ladies and
That
gents.
is the show. But a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, get your T Public merch ASAP,
Oh,
because if you don't get it soon, and you might have already missed a deadline
yeah.
actually, but I'm telling you now, so you can get it before the end of the year. Get that merch in, because all types of shipping is going to be happening during the holidays. BJ got himself some new stickers. All
Yes, it
types of
is.
shipping is going to be happening during the holidays, so you might be delayed on your packages more than normal. So get those in ASAP. ASAP
Absolutely.
discounts are still happening up to 40%. Nearly throughout the rest of the month, there's brief windows where you're not having a sale, and even when you don't, you get free shipping as a return for that. When you're paying full price for your shirts, you get free shipping. So either way, you got a deal. And
Absolutely.
speaking of free shipping, I bet there's some from Fanatics as well.
I've got up to 65% off site wide
Oh,
over at
yep.
Fanatics by using the code BOLT. I don't see anything about shipping, but I'm sure, Drew, that you
65%
can.
off is plenty. I
65%
mean,
off
that's
is
good
plenty.
enough.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So there you
absolutely.
go.
I
Different
just
options.
used our code last weekend in order to buy some Christmas presents for the fam.
There
So,
you go. Let's go. Turn up.
woo! Burr, burr,
Perfect. And
burr.
and that's what you got to do if you're trying to get those Christmas presents for your loved ones, and you want to get them some sports gear, some memorabilia, some collectibles, jerseys, whatever. Use that Lowdown link and shop Fanatics through our unique link and get
In the
that merch for your
description.
family and friends. And you support us along the way, and we appreciate it, of course. We
Yeah.
appreciate you tuning in for this episode. This is another episode of the Lowdown Sports Show. We will see you again next week.
Peace.
Peace.